What it do? Bad Sound Crew. Hey man, listen, Dana White just announced Justin Gaethje versus Max Holloway for UFC 300 for the BMF belt. And I think this is a mistake. I think it's a bad idea. And I think it's especially a bad idea for Max Holloway, but also for Justin Gaethje. And I just think for the UFC in general, I'm not trying to complain about what will definitely be a very entertaining fight. And I like both of the guys involved. I just think that it's a very short-sighted fight to make. So I wanted to make a video about it. I wanted to let it digest a little bit and think about what the fight actually means for the UFC. And I think it's just a short-sighted decision to appease to the casuals, and that's totally fine. You got to do that sometimes. I know we're all going to be watching this fight. It's going to be a very entertaining matchup, but at the same time, I feel like Dana White kind of got pressured, bro. I feel like Dana White kind of got oiled up a little bit by the fans because everyone was saying, bro, you got to make 300 better. These fight announcements are shit. And I feel like this is such a thrown together fight. I don't know about you guys, but I feel like Dana just looked at the UFC rankings page and was like, oh, fuck it. We'll do Gaethje versus Holloway. You know? It's very short-sighted. Like, I just feel like, what, Max Holloway really wants to be the BMF? Does Max Holloway really want to go up to lightweight? Like, I feel like right now, the storyline is if Topuria beats Volkanovski, you have to do Topuria versus Holloway. You have to give Holloway his title shot. You want to see the Cinderella story of him coming back to the belt. So I feel like it's kind of getting in the way of that, or I guess prolonging that, maybe making that worse if he takes like life-changing damage as well, because that's another factor. The winner of this is not going to be ready for a quick turnaround against who? Islam? On the same card as the number one contendership fight between Oliveira and Sarukian. So what does the winner actually get? You know what I'm saying? Like, the winner's not guaranteed a real title shot. If Islam fights Charles Oliveira, say Charles Oliveira beats Arman Sarukian, right? I literally go in the cage, I know I beat Arman Sarukian. Then he fights Islam. If he beats Islam, you're not getting a title shot. They're doing a rematch between Oliveira and Islam in a trilogy. If Arman Sarukian beats Islam, they're doing a trilogy. So I'm not really sure like what the winner of this actually gets besides the made up belt that was only cool in 2019. And as for the loser, if Justin Gaethje loses to Max Holloway, probably retires. We don't get to see him versus Islam, which I think maybe unpopular opinion, more intriguing to me than Islam versus Charles Oliveira. Charles Oliveira, the way that he fought Islam, I'm sorry, he had no success in that fight, dude. You guys know me. I fucking love Charles, dude. I love Charles Oliveira. He did absolutely fuck all in that fight, bro. Like, he had zero success in that fight, dude. And people will cope about that. People will complain, but deep down, you know I'm right. And I think Gaethje also loses to Islam, but he's a different challenge. I think he's got better head movement, better defense. I think his leg kicks will be an interesting factor in it. He's got good takedown defense. He's not going to try and grapple with Islam. He's going to make him stand up as long as he can. So I think it's a different matchup. Same with Max Holloway. I think Max Holloway is a different matchup for Islam, but I don't see him winning the belt either. And I'm not going to say Max Holloway shouldn't move up ever. There's no point. You'll never beat Islam, because that's a loser mindset. Like, I understand that Max Holloway believes he could be double champ right now, and he could, right? There's circumstances that could happen, but I just think right now, in this moment, I don't know if this is the fight to make. I think Gaethje versus Islam is a better fight to make for that Saudi Arabia card. I think Max Holloway versus Aljamain Sterling was a better fight to make for UFC 300, you know? So that's my thoughts on that matchup. As for who I think is going to win, I do think Gaethje is going to win a decision, but at first, I'm not going to lie, I was like, bro, Max is cooked. I was going to make this video being like, guys, Max is fucking cooked. He's going to get 50-43. It's actually not going to be that bad. I don't think it'll be that fucking bad, but I'm just saying it's going to kill the featherweight division for a while, because then who's going to fight for the belt? If Max Holloway gets beat up by Gaethje, which I think is what's going to happen, and he has a fun scrap, maybe he wins a round or two, but he loses and he's all bloodied up and busted up, he's not going to be able to turn around and fight Topuria if he beats Volk, which a lot of people think is going to happen, myself included, right? So who's going to fight for the belt? Are we going to see Josh Emmett get a title shot? Are we going to see Yair Rodriguez, like Brian Ortega versus Yair Rodriguez winner versus Topuria? Does anybody actually want to see that? I don't know about you guys. I would rather see Holloway versus Topuria in a couple of months than see Max Holloway recovering all of 2024 or coming back like December 2024 against Josh Emmett as his bounce back fight at featherweight. You know what I mean? Like, we're just prolonging, I don't know, we're just prolonging a much better rivalry, a much better storyline, a much better fight, in my opinion, than anything else that's going to happen at featherweight. And same with Gaethje versus Makhachev, to be honest. If he beats Max Holloway, he already could have got a title shot. You know what I mean? Like, he already deserves one, in my opinion. So you're just kind of prolonging him versus Makhachev if you're thinking, oh, maybe Max Holloway wins. Like, that's one thing. But I think Gaethje wins this, and I think he should have been fighting Makhachev next, because now Dana White has said Makhachev is fighting the winner of Oliveira Sarukian. So that's going to be in Abu Dhabi. That's going to be in Abu Dhabi, bro. So Gaethje's not getting a title shot till next year now, which makes it even less interesting than it already was. So that's what I mean when I say it's a bad idea. I think it's really short-sighted. You're probably going to burn out 2 divisions, like next fresh challenger for the champion, and you're more likely to get a rematch or a boring contender fighting for the belt. Like, we could end up with Poirier fighting for the belt. We could end up with, maybe Gamrot fighting for the belt somehow. I'm serious. Like, this could really, like, put together some shitty matchups down the line. I think this will be a great fight. I'm not complaining about the matchup as much as I was initially. Like, when it got announced, I'm not going to lie, I was kind of mad. I was like, this is a dumb fight. And I know what I said in my Poirier-Benoit Saint Denis video. In my Fights to Make 2024 video. I know I said it's, like, for casuals. It is, but it won't be a bad fight. You know what I'm saying? It's not a bad fight, but I just think it's pretty short-sighted and pretty dumb. But let me talk about what else got announced for this card, if you care. We got, where is he, dude? Jim Miller versus Bobby Green. Very interesting matchup. I think it's a cool idea. I'm not mad at this whatsoever. I think it's a really good idea. I wouldn't have been mad at Jim Miller versus Paul Felder. I think that would have been cool. But it seems like they just said, all right, Paul Felder said no. Who wants it? Bobby Green probably said yes straight away. I'll put in my reaction to Dana White announcing this fight because of how Bobby Green's last fight went. Hey, so I'm happy with Jim.
Lightweight history.
I'm happy with Jim Miller, Bobby Green. Dana, shut the fuck up. I'm happy with Jim Miller and Bobby Green. I want to hear what he has to say about
16,
this.
16, the guy that fights anyone, anytime, anywhere.
Okay.
Bobby Green. Bobby hasn't seen a scorecard in 2 years.
Bro, he hasn't been alive since last year. What the fuck? Is he alive? But yeah, dude, very interesting that this dude's back in the cage before fucking Jalen Turner. Don't know how that's going to end for him. I could see that ending really badly for him. My thoughts initially were Bobby Green probably wins a decision or Jim Miller chins him. Low-key, I'm feeling a Jim Miller submission W. I'm feeling a Jim Miller loses the first round, kind of gets tagged up a little bit. Bobby Green's kind of flexing on him. They're having like a very back and forth, exciting fight. The crowd's going crazy. And then Jim Miller catches Bobby Green with a big right hand, sits him down, jumps on his neck, gets a guillotine. I can really see him getting one of those mounted kind of guillotines. You know those guillotines? You guys probably don't know because you're not a purple belt like me, but you know when you lock up the guillotine, then you jump your legs around them and you just kind of, you're sitting up and then you go to the mount or you just lay back and get it? I'm seeing one of those guillotines. I feel like he got Clay Guida with one of those, and I could definitely see him dropping Bobby Green, getting a submission that way. But regardless of the outcome, this is a fun fight. This is a UFC 300 like legend showcase fight. I really love the idea. The card is actually looking pretty good. I know a lot of people are still a bit unhappy with the card. I ain't mad at it. I ain't mad at it. I'm willing to put away the baby oil. You know, I'm willing to take back my DMs to Dana White. I'm willing to do all that if he gives me the matchmaker job that I rightfully deserve. I mean, I made half of these fights or better, and you guys said they were mid. Now they're on 300. Oh my god, bro, Dana's cooking, dude. Oh my freaking god, dude. I'm interested to see what the main event's gonna be. I don't think it's gonna be Pereira, and I'm very excited for the prospect. Day by day, we get closer to Bilal Muhammad main eventing 300. Bro, just fucking accept it, dude. Bilal Muhammad is the biggest pay-per-view draw. When Dana White wants money, he calls up the king. Bilal Muhammad answers for, you know what I'm saying? I'm from Chicago. You know, I'm for Leon in the main event 300. You know, I'm from Chicago. You know, if we move the event to Saudi Arabia or, you know, move it to Chicago, you know, I think I'm the biggest star in the welterweight division. Boys, get ready for this main event. And when Bilal Muhammad 49-46 Leon Edwards, you remember who tried to warn you, bro, because the storm is coming. Like it's Fortnite. Trust. All right, but. These are my thoughts on the 300 fights that got announced. I do think Gaethje versus Holloway is a pretty short-sighted idea, but still a fun fight. Still going to be a banger matchup, probably. Let's be real. These two are very exciting to watch. I'm not mad at the fight in terms of the actual, you know, matchup. I just think that it makes no sense for the featherweight and lightweight division. I think there's still cool fights you could make with both of these guys without ruining one of their title runs this year. So let me know what you guys think down below, though. Do you agree? Do you disagree? Hopefully you get where I'm coming from. If you enjoyed the video, drop a like, subscribe, Follow me on the gram at Bedtime MMA. We just hit 2,000 followers. Thank you so much, you guys. And yeah, enjoy the fights. I'll see you in the next video, guys. Goodbye.